Good afternoon, everybody. Joe from Joe's Golden Garage. Good to see y'all today. Um, I did the online Mannheim auction yesterday. Wasn't really looking for anything because um, I've got plenty of cars. But I found one car when I have a weakness. I have a weakness for Mercedes-Benz, especially old ones. I don't care nothing for the new ones. Anything past about 2006, I have no interest in. And the only reason I like '05 and '06 is because I like the CDI diesel E320s, and I'm gonna have one day. But I've been a big fan of the W210 chassis, which was the E320 or an E420, E430, the E55. It ran, and there were diesels in there. But they ran from 96 to '02 in sedan form, and they ran from 98 to 2003 in wagon form. I have had two W210. No, I've had three. I've had three W210 chassis, and they have all three been like two. No, two were emerald green, and one was like aspen green. So I've had three W210s, and all three were freaking green. I had two 2001s, and they were both decent drivers, a little rough. One was definitely rougher than the other one, but good daily drivers. The '97 was an E420, so it was a V8. It was a hoss, man. It would move, and it was a pretty good car. It was a pretty good daily car. And I sold it to someone that a friend that needed some good reliable transportation, and I didn't have a lot of money in, and I wanted to hook them up with a good deal. So that's basically why I sold it, because I probably would have kept that '97, but because I was in love with that V8. So yesterday, as I'm on here looking, I come up on here. I'm using my new gimbal. Watch the slow turnaround. Now let's not do that. Come back to me. Let's do let's do this. Sorry, I was spinning the gimbal around, but then realized I wouldn't be able to see the camera. So it was better just to stop it and start the video over again. So anyway, this is what I found yesterday. Whoa, hey, come on now. Oh, hey, whoa now. Okay, so 2000 Mercedes E430. Why is Alexa talking to me out of nowhere? I'm the only one here. Um, I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna get a little closer, but this car has 163,000 miles. It was a new car trade-in. Um, Over here where it says auto grade 2.4 below average, that is your condition report. Um, 5 is perfect. 0 is like a non-runner, burned down to the ground or crashed or whatever. 2.4, as you can see, is kind of dead in the middle. It says below average, but I'll be quite honest with you, any car this age, 19 years old, if you can get it, if it's above a 2, you're doing good. What really hurts this car, and it's really hard to see in the pictures. I can't see it at all in the pictures. But this car spent some time in Oklahoma, and it must have gotten in a storm or something at one point and accumulated some hail damage. Um, there is no hail damage reported to the hood, but there is hail damage reported to the roof and to the trunk lid. Got a sagging headliner that also has a stain, and I have a crack in the rear bumper. It's pretty picky. And I'm sorry, it's 19 years old. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be picking if it has a crack in the rear bumper. There's a scratch there on one of the fenders. Very tiny. All this stuff deducts. 2 tiny dash cracks right above the cluster. I mean, that's no big deal. And I don't even know what they're trying to show here. It said something about previous paint work. So it's never been in a crash. The Carfax and everything on it is pretty good. It is a 4-owner car. And the last owner had it. I mean, the trunk is clean. And I know you can't see that, but there's a CD changer over here. And there's the trunk mat, the trunk net laying flat back there. All pretty and clean, looking nice. But yeah, and it has the non-working sunroof. $163,947. There's the center stack. The radio needs the code. The code should be written on top of the radio, so all I got to do is slide it out and look. It looks like it's a low option e430. There's no heated seats or anything, but the interior looks pretty darn good. There's a notation for the wear on the center armrest. You can kind of see that little black line there. That's no problem. I can touch that up. And there's a notation for wear on the door handle for the driver's door. So, everything else checks out. It hasn't been in an accident, so I'm not real sure why it has prior paint work. Maybe that had to do something with maybe fixing some of the hail dents or a previous scratch, or who knows, someone could have ran into a garage or something. Unbelievably and amazingly, it has 2 keys. Cars this old at auction never have more than one. Ever. Rarely. Very rarely do you get 2 keys. And especially Mercedes keys. Oh man, I've lucked up on that. Auto check is clean. The tires, I don't know if you can read that, but that says like 4/32 on the back, 5/32 on the front. We have no announcements, which is good. That means there's no type of structural damage or anything really bad, theft, recovery, true miles unknown, things like that. So we're in good shape. If you scroll down here, it kind of gives you a picture of the car. And red is bad. Orange is not great. Yellow is fair, and gray is very minor. So it does look like the top of this car, especially the roof and the trunk lid, have the most dents, and the hood has some as well. But just looking at the little pictures here, I mean, nothing really stands out like stupid crazy here. Let me see if I can make this picture bigger for y'all. I mean, all I can really see is just light reflecting in the hood. So that's, you can't, and it's a white car. But hey, if you're going to drive a hell damaged car, it might as well be white. White's probably the best color for that. Let's look at the rear again. I always wish they had more exterior shots. As you can see, it has a nice reflection in the paint. You can see things reflecting nicely. Got the nice little e430 badge right there on the trunk. But it's really just hard to tell and hard to see if there's any dents. If they're small, who gives a crap? I mean, seriously? The last owner maintained the car at the Mercedes dealership in Atlanta, RBM of Atlanta. So that was good to see on the Carfax. There was not a lot of service history on the Carfax. So I was glad to see that the last owner, who owned it the longest out of the four, I mean, one of the owners, I think it was the second owner, only owned the car for like 60 days. I only had it for about 2 months. So, not sure what that was all about. But I picked this car for $1,300 with my not Copart. I'm not a Copart person. Nothing against it. I just don't do that. With my Manheim fees, I'm right at $260 for my auction fee. So that puts me at $1,560, and heck, this, I mean, that's a great price if it has cold air, runs and drives good. There's no notes. You know, usually they'll note if the air conditioning doesn't work, or if there's check engine lights on, or, you know, any kind of warning lights. They usually notate that, so that's not in here. In this picture here, we can see the air conditioner is set on low and it's cranked up. So I'm hoping that's a good sign that it was working well and the guys were staying cool while they were snapping their pictures. But yeah, there's no notes of any warning lights on, or, you know, no air conditioning, or contaminated oil, or low oil. I mean, they'll even make a note down here where it says other, right down there at the bottom. That's a 0 next to other. They'll even notate if it's low on gas. So they're pretty accurate. They've surprised me once or twice. I get down there and I get a car and, you know, something's not working, or there's a warning light on. But like the 2012 Volvo I bought a couple of weeks ago, you know, there was no mention that the traction control light was on. So anyway, gonna go down here within the week. I've got to make the payment, and then it takes like 4 business days to process it, and today's Wednesday, so it'll be next week before I can pick up the car. So when I go down there, I plan on doing a video of what it's like picking up a car from the auction. Picking up a car from the auction is sometimes a challenging event. First, you have to walk out. First you've got to print your gate pass, and then you have to get past security. Sometimes there's a line. Then you have to go out into the hot parking lot where there's a security guard, and you show him your gate pass, and he can look at the lanes and the numbers on there and point you in a general direction in the sea of thousands of cars. He can kind of point you in a direction of where to go to find your car. Now, there is a van that comes around and will pick people up and take them to the car, but I have literally sometimes had to wait an hour for the van to come around and pick me up. So I always walk. If he points me in a general direction of where I might can find my car that I purchased, my ass is walking. Even though it's hot right now, God, it's hot right now down here in Georgia. Jeez. I know it's hot everywhere, but man, it's hot, especially when you get out there on that blacktop, 100-degree blacktop weather. It starts cooking your ass, man. But that's what I did when I picked up the 2012 Volvo XC90 the other week. He just pointed in a general direction. I hauled ass in that direction. He said it was on lane 20. I found lane 20 and I just walked it from the beginning all the way to where I found the Volvo, of course, down near the end. Of course, that's where it would be. But, so yeah, I'll know exactly where this thing is. I'll have some jumper cables with me, because, you know, there's other cars parked around it and you can steal a jump, you know, off of a car parked next to you if you need to. And it's always a good idea when you buy a car at auction like that, and, you know, you're not there to pick it up right away, it's a good idea to hurry up and pay and get on down there and get it, because the longer the car sits there, the longer there's a chance something can happen to it, like vandalism or something be stolen out of it. I've had that happen before. On a Honda Odyssey minivan, someone stole the damn dashboard out of it. So I'll be doing the video when I go down to pick this thing up, probably sometime next week, and we'll drive this baby back, and this will be a little project, and see if I can make something out of it, turn it into a good daily driver for somebody and sell it, make a little money on it. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Like, subscribe, comment. Peace. Thanks.